The thunder cracked so violently, it shook the rotting boards of the old barn, yet the sound that truly froze her blood was the heavy slam of the door behind her. She spun around, breath sharp in her chest, fingers instinctively curling around the small obsidian knife she still carried. Rainwater dripped from her tangled black hair onto the dusty floor as she faced the silhouette in the doorway. A tall man, broad shoulders, hat lowered, a rifle slung casually across his back. The stranger didn't flinch when she raised her knife. He didn't reach for his weapon. He simply spoke. "Ma'am, if I wanted you dead, you wouldn't have heard me come in." His voice was steady, deep, the voice of someone used to storms-weathered ones and human ones alike. She backed away anyway, stumbling against a stack of hay, every instinct screaming danger, every instinct reminding her of the night she was cast out. The night truth became a crime. Another thunderclap shook the barn. She didn't blink. She kept the blade aimed at him. He stepped forward, not fast, not threatening, just close enough that the lantern light revealed his face, rough, unshaven, and strangely gentle, blue eyes that held concern instead of judgment. "You're freezing," he said, "and wounded." Her jaw tightened. She hated how quickly he saw through her. The cut on her shoulder burned in agreement, but she refused to show pain. "Don't come closer," she warned. He raised his hands, palms open. "I won't, but that storm's about to tear this place apart. And you're shaking like you'll collapse before it does." His kindness hit harder than fear. Kindness was unpredictable. Kindness had betrayed her before. She didn't answer. Rain hammered the roof in sheets, and the wind howled through the gaps in the boards. The cowboy took off his coat, and still keeping distance, set it on a barrel between them. "You don't owe me trust," he said. "Just don't die in my barn." Makes a man look careless. Despite herself, a breath escaped her, half disbelief, half reluctant amusement. He wasn't mocking her. He wasn't circling her like prey. He was simply there, solid, unmoved by her fear. She lowered the knife just an inch, just enough for him to see she was still dangerous, but also listening. "What do you want?" she demanded. His answer came without hesitation. "For you to survive the night." Lightning lit the barn in blinding white, and for the first time in far too long, she didn't feel completely alone. The storm intensified until the barn groaned like an old ship fighting waves. She wrapped the cowboy's coat around her shoulders, still wary, but too cold to refuse its warmth. The fabric smelled of smoke, leather, and long rides across open plains. Nothing like the sense of the camp she once called home. Nothing like the life she'd been forced to leave behind. He kept his distance, leaning against a wooden support beam as if he'd spent his whole life giving frightened people space. The lantern light carved faint lines on his face, the kind made by exhaustion rather than age. He watched her, not with suspicion, but with the careful attention of someone trying to solve a puzzle without breaking it. "You've been running a while," he said quietly. She stiffened. "You know nothing about me." "True, but I know what running looks like." He tapped the side of his boot against the floorboards. "And what it costs." His voice wasn't prying. It was a statement, one born from his own scars, not from curiosity about hers. She shifted on the bale of hay, keeping the knife hidden under the coat, though she wasn't sure she'd need it anymore, or if she even wanted to. A gust of wind slammed the barn door, and dust rained from the rafters. She flinched, and he noticed, but didn't comment. Instead, he crossed to an old trunk, opened it, and pulled out a small tin. "Hold still," he said. She tensed again, gripping the coat tighter. Why? You're bleeding through the shoulder. He set the tin on the barrel between them. It's sap, nothing more. When she hesitated, he took one slow step back. You can apply it yourself if you'd rather. Just don't leave the wound open. Infections, a poor travel companion. She didn't trust him. But she trusted pain even less. She moved closer to the barrel and unscrewed the tin. The scent of pine resin and crushed herbs drifted up, reminding her of the healers in her old tribe before the lies, before the exile, before everything shattered. You're a strange man, she muttered. He huffed a soft laugh. I get that a lot. She dabbed the salve onto her shoulder, hissing through her teeth as the sting hit. He looked away respectfully, pretending to busy himself with adjusting a rope that didn't need adjusting. It was a small kindness, but it landed deeper than he knew. When she finished, she caught him looking at her, again, but searching in a way she couldn't quite decipher. You got a name? He asked. She hesitated. Names were dangerous. Names carried stories. Names could be used against you. But something about the storm, the barn, the quiet steadiness of this strange cowboy, made her feel the smallest spark of safety, at least for this one moment. My name, she said slowly, is not... He nodded once, as if he'd been waiting for her to trust him with something, anything. Naya, he repeated. Good minds, Colt. The storm roared, but inside the barn, for the first time in days, she felt a breath of calm. The storm outside lost none of its fury. Each rumble of thunder rolled across the plains like distant drumbeats, shaking loose memories she wished she could bury. Naya kept her gaze fixed on the barn floor, tracing the cracks in the wood while Colt adjusted the lantern wick, brightening the dim space with a steady, amber glow. For several long minutes, they spoke nothing. It wasn't an uncomfortable silence, just thick, heavy, the kind that forms when two strangers share a roof during a night too dangerous to face alone. Colt finally broke it. You're hurt worse than you let on. Naya's jaw tightened. I've survived worse. That's not the point, he replied. Pain tells a story. You don't strike me as someone who'd let herself get cornered unless something bad went down. She looked up sharply, suspicion flashing across her face. Are you asking what happened? No, he said, shaking his head. I'm saying I don't need to know. Not unless you want to tell it. That answer unsettled her more than any interrogation would have. People always wanted to know. People always wanted her to justify her existence, her choices, her survival. Yet this man simply watched her with quiet steadiness, offering neither pressure nor false comfort. She wrapped the coat tighter around herself, pulling it close against the chill creeping up her spine. If I told you, she said slowly, you'd think I was cursed. Colt almost smiled. Ma'am, I've seen cursed. I've ridden alongside men who were their own curse. You don't look like any of them. Her throat tightened. He didn't realize how close to the truth he was. A sharp blast of wind forced open a thin gap between the boards, making the lantern flicker. Naya flinched at the sudden draft, but Colt moved calmly, shoving a straw-filled sack against the wall to block the cold. When he turned back, his hat dipped slightly, casting a shadow across his eyes. This barn won't hold if the wind shifts. When the storm eases, I'll take you somewhere safer. She blinked at him, stunned. You'd take me with you. You don't even know who I am. Colt shrugged. I know you're freezing, bleeding, and scared enough to hide in a pile of hay instead of asking anyone for help. That's enough. Why? She whispered. Because someone should have helped you before tonight. The words struck her harder than any blow. No one had said something like that to her since the day her world fell apart. She lowered her gaze, breathing unsteadily through the ache rising in her chest. Colt didn't move closer. He didn't offer a hand or a touch of comfort. He simply gave her time to steady herself. And somehow, that made her feel safer than any gesture of sympathy could have. She finally forced the question that had been burning inside her. "If you take me away from here, what will you expect in return?" He answered without hesitation. "Nothing." She shook her head. No one does something for nothing. The storm dragged on into the night, but the air inside the barn changed. It wasn't warmer, still clung to the walls, but something tense had started to unwind between them. Nausea shifted positions, settling against the stack of hay as Colt moved with deliberate calm, checking the roof for leaks and tapping the wood to ensure nothing would collapse before morning. But her eyes followed him. Every step, every breath, every glance he didn't know she caught. She didn't trust easily. She wasn't sure she trusted him now. But the storm felt less suffocating when he was near, and she hated the strange comfort that brought. Colt finally lowered himself onto an overturned crate, stretching his long legs out before him. His boots were muddy, soaked through, but he didn't seem bothered. The lantern light carved golden lines along his jaw, making him look almost unreal in the dimness. "You keep watching me," he said without accusation. Naya's pulse stuttered. "I don't." He raised one brow. "You've got a good knife hand, but a terrible liar's face." Heat touched her cheeks. Annoyance, not embarrassment, she told herself. "I watch everyone. Why? Because people show their intentions if you look long enough." Colt nodded, accepting the answer without pushing further. He leaned back, folding his hands over his middle. "Then look as long as you need." Those words, simple, steady, hit her harder than expected. Most men would have bristled under scrutiny, demanded trust, or pushed her to explain her caution. Colt did none of those things. It unsettled her. It disarmed her. It made her wonder what kind of life he'd lived to speak with that kind of quiet certainty. A loud gust slammed against the barn, making the roof tremble. Naya instinctively lowered herself, shoulders tightening. Her body reacted before her mind caught up, as if expecting an attack rather than weather. Colt noticed. Without making a sound, he shifted so he was facing her fully. Not looming, not approaching. Just there, solid, steady, watching her with the patience of someone waiting for a frightened animal to calm. "You've been hurt by more than storms," he said carefully. She swallowed hard. "You don't know anything about my people." "No," he agreed. "But I know what fear looks like when it's been carved into a person." Her gaze snapped to him, sharp as flint. He didn't retreat. He didn't soften his words. He simply let them rest in the air between them. Naya opened her mouth to argue, to deny. But another crack of thunder stole her voice. She wrapped her arms around herself, holding in the tremor that threatened to climb up her spine. Colt didn't miss it. He spoke again, quieter, almost a murmur lost to the rain. "Whatever you ran from, you're not facing it alone tonight." She stared at him, this stranger who offered safety without demand, kindness without expectation, and for the first time since her exile, something inside her loosened, just a fraction. Not trust. Not yet. The barn had settled into a fragile calm, but inside, Naya's storms still clashed. She drew the coat tighter, feeling its weight like a barrier between her and the memories she tried to keep buried. Colt had returned to examining the rafters, knocking lightly on each beam, as if listening for secrets in the wood. The silence stretched until it felt like another presence in the barn quiet. Watchful, patient. Naya's fingers tightened around the blade hidden beneath the coat. Its familiar edge steadied her breathing. "Colt," she said suddenly, surprising herself more than him. He paused, lowering his hand from the beams. "Yeah." Her voice came out rough. "If I tell you, even a little of what happened, you won't use it against me." Colt blinked slowly, like someone absorbing the weight of a question he didn't expect. "Naya, if you speak, it stays here, between us. And if you don't want to speak, that's fine too. No pressure, no coaxing. Just choice is something she hadn't been given in a long time." The rain hammered the roof in a relentless rhythm, like the heartbeat of the night itself. Naya stared at the lantern flame, drawing courage from its steady flicker. "My people think I betrayed them," she said at last. Colt didn't move. "I didn't," she added quickly. "I told the truth, but sometimes truth cuts deeper than lies." His voice was steady. "Truth usually does." She inhaled shakily, surprised at how easily the words came. Someone powerful, someone the tribe trusted, did something unforgivable. I spoke out. I thought justice would follow. Her lips curved in a bitter line. Instead, they cast me out. Said I had dishonored them. Colt's jaw clenched. Not in judgment, she could read judgment. She had lived under its shadow but in anger on her behalf. "That's why you ran," he murmured. "I didn't run," she corrected, glaring through the ache in her chest. "I was chased." Colt closed the distance of a single step, not too close, but close enough that she could see the sincere fire in his eyes. "Naya, nobody should be punished for telling the truth." She looked away, unable to meet that kind of conviction. "You say that now, but you don't know the price of standing with me." He didn't hesitate. "Then I'll pay it when it comes." Those words struck her like a blow. No one had ever said anything like that to her. No one had stood beside her without needing proof, without demanding something first. She felt her throat tighten. She hated the weakness of it, but she couldn't stop the tremor that moved through her. Colt noticed, and for the first time, he took a slow, careful step closer. "Naya," he said softly, "you're safe here. You're not alone." The lantern flickered, the storm howled, and she felt something inside her shatter quietly, painfully but not in fear, in release. The storm refused to fade. If anything, it pressed harder against the barn, as though the sky held its breath before something broke loose. Naya pushed herself upright, ignoring the sharp pull in her shoulder. Staying still only made her thoughts louder, and tonight they clawed at her like old ghosts refusing to die. Colt noticed instantly. "Easy," he murmured. "You're hurt. I've been hurt before." She moved toward the door, toward the thin line of darkness between the wooden planks. Rain hammered the earth outside, but beneath the rhythm she sensed something wrong, something waiting. Colt stepped beside her, close enough for warmth, far enough not to threaten. "You hear something. Maybe." She hated how unsure it sounded. He didn't dismiss her. He simply listened with her, head tilted, breath quiet. All they heard was storm and wind, but her instincts had carried her across deserts and exile. They rarely failed. Colt placed his palm on the door. The wood trembled beneath his touch. "If someone tracked you this far," he said, "rain wouldn't stop them. Just slow them." Her pulse quickened. "You think someone is out there?" "I think you wouldn't be shaken if you weren't sure." "I'm not shaking," she snapped. His mouth twitched in a sad, almost smile. "Yes, you are." The barn suddenly felt too small, too exposed. Safety had always been an illusion, fragile, temporary, easily shattered. Colt stepped back and grabbed his rifle. He didn't raise it. He just held it with the ease of a man who knew danger personally. "I'll check outside." "No." Her voice cut through the air. "If someone hunts me, going alone is suicide." He shrugged. "Survived worse than a little rain." She blocked him before she realized she'd moved. Her fingers clutched his shirt, gripping fabric soaked from the storm. Heat rushed through her as she pulled away, embarrassed. Colt looked from her hand to her face. He saw more than she wanted him to. "I'm not letting you risk yourself because of me," she said. He exhaled slowly. "And I'm not leaving you scared out of your mind." "I'm not scared." "You are," he said softly. "And you've earned the right." Her breath wavered. "If they find me, they'll kill anyone who helps me." Colt didn't hesitate. "Then they'll have to go through me first." His certainty shook her more than fear. Another groan rolled through the barn, wind screaming between the boards like a warning. Danger wasn't a distant shadow anymore. It was already here. "I don't want you to die for me," she whispered. He held her gaze, steady and unshakable. "I'm not planning on dying. And I'm damn sure not letting you face this alone." For a heartbeat, the storm softened. For a heartbeat, she believed him. Another violent gust slammed into the barn, rattling the rafters. Dust drifted down through the lantern's glow, shimmering like sparks from a dying fire. The storm had become a creature breathing, warning, watching. Naya felt its tension settle along her spine. Colt moved with controlled precision, checking every crack and shadow. He walked like a man who'd lived too long with danger whispering at his back. She watched him, feeling a pull in her chest she wished she could ignore. "Colt," she whispered. He paused, turning. "What if it's my tribe? What if they came to finish what they started?" His expression didn't shift. "Then they should have brought more men. Colt, anyone who hunts a woman for speaking. Truth ain't worth fear." He rested the rifle against his shoulder. "But if they're out there, I'll handle it." His confidence should have soothed her. Instead, it twisted deeper into her worry. She had seen men like her, hunters relentless, merciless, blind to reason. Anyone standing beside her became a target by default. "I don't want blood spilled for me," she said. "You didn't choose this fight. They shoved it on you." Lightning burst through the cracks, lighting his features jaw set, eyes steady. A man shaped by hardship rather than pride. He wasn't afraid, and that terrified her. Before she spoke again, a faint metallic clink cut through the storm. Colt's head snapped toward the sound. He lifted a hand, signaling her to stay back. What was that? She breathed. He crouched low, listening. Even the storm seemed to pause. "It wasn't thunder," he said. Ice slid through her veins. Another sound followed, a slow, wet step in the mud outside. Too controlled. Too human. Colt pressed his ear to the door, muscles taut. Someone moved just beyond the wall, close enough to touch. He raised his rifle. "Naya," he said quietly, "behind me. I can fight." "I know, but you're hurt. And I need you, alive." Lightning lit the world again, brief, white, blinding. Outside, shifting shadows passed across the barn wall. They weren't alone. Naya forced her breathing steady. She wasn't the frightened girl who fled into the night. She wasn't helpless. But the thought of Colt, standing between her and death, made her chest twist painfully. "Colt," her voice broke. "Don't die." He almost smiled, soft, certain. "I won't. I gave you my word." The noise outside grew heavier, closer. The night was no longer just a storm. Something was coming. The night sharpened into something predatory. The storm no longer sounded like wind, it sounded like cover. Whoever moved outside knew how to hide behind noise. Colt stood still, finger near the trigger. Breath steady, despite the chaos hammering the roof. Naya pressed her back to a beam, knife tight in her hand. Her muscles remembered too much, running through canyons at night. Hunters calling her name, footsteps closing in. The past felt close enough to touch. Colt glanced at her, eyes speaking what words didn't. Stay alive. Her look answered, don't be stupid. It was the closest thing to a promise amid the storm. A soft scrape slid along the barn wall, too controlled to be the wind. Colt shifted, rifle aimed at the door. The lantern flickered, as if frightened. Her tribe's trackers moved like ghosts. If they were here, she knew the outcome. They would drag her out and leave Colt for dead. She whispered, Colt, if it's them. It doesn't matter who it is, he said. They step inside. They face me. You don't know what they can do. I know what I can. A heavy thud struck the door, testing, measuring. Colt didn't flinch. That wasn't wind, he muttered. Naya moved behind him, close but careful. Lightning flashed, outlining the door in white. Then a voice seeped through the cracks. Her blood froze. Colt straightened. Who is it? Casso, she whispered. Your accuser. No, worse, his brother. Outside, Casso's tone curled into a drawl. Bring her out, Cowboy, and we'll spare you. Colt snorted. Not a chance. Rain-masked footsteps circling the barn. Naya's grip tightened. Fear clawed at her, but Colt's presence held her steady. Casso growled, we only want what's ours. I don't belong to you, she shot back. Casso laughed. Then I'll carve the truth out of you. Colt's voice turned to steel. You're not touching her. The storm roared. The night tensed. Something would break, and it wouldn't be her. Naya's heartbeat hammered, reminding her she was still alive. The barn felt smaller, the storm pressing against the walls. Colt positioned himself between her and the door with quiet certainty. His silhouette stood unmovable in the lightning. Casso's voice returned, colder. You always were stubborn, girl. Thought truth could save you. Truth did save me, she said. He chuckled. Then let's see if it keeps you breathing tonight. Colt braced himself. You talk too much for a man about to lose. Storm weight. The barn door shuddered as a second blow slammed into it. Deliberate, fueled by rage. Dust rained from the rafters. The horses in the stalls whinnied, hooves pounding nervously against the straw. Colt raised his rifle, boots braced in the dirt. They're testing the hinges. A chill crawled up Naya's spine. Casso never tested long. He struck until something broke. She had seen him tear through camp walls, had seen warriors twice his size shrink from his fury. He was his brother's shadow, cruel, loyal, unstoppable. Colt, she whispered, there may be more than one. There usually is. Hunters travel in packs. His gaze flicked to her knife. You sure you can fight? I've had two. Thunder cracked overhead, covering the crunch of footsteps outside. Naya crept to the lantern and extinguished it. Darkness swallowed the barn. Smart, Colt murmured. In the dark, her heartbeat steadied. She knew shadows. She'd lived in them. Her tribe cast her out, but they had trained her well. Tracking, silence, survival. The tools she needed now. Outside, Casso barked an order in Apache, harsh and unmistakable. We break the door. Colt didn't know the words, but he knew the intent. Guessing that wasn't friendly. No, they're coming. The next impact nearly tore the door from its frame. Wood cracked. A long, splintered line streaked across it like lightning. Colt positioned himself behind a wagon wheel, perfect cover. When that door gives, stay behind me. I can help. You will. By staying alive. The door groaned. The bar shook violently. Nails screamed. One more hit would break everything. Naya pressed against a beam, breathing through panic. She could almost see Casso's twisted face in the cracks. Eyes burning with the belief she was a stain needing erasing. His voice echoed from memory. You will regret speaking, girl. She clenched her jaw. Not tonight. The fourth strike landed. The bar snapped. The door exploded inward. Rain burst into the barn with the shadows rushing through the opening. Colt fired sharp, controlled. A scream tore through the thunder. One shadow fell. Two more surged in behind it. Naya moved before fear pinned her. Her knife flashed in the dim light. A man lunged. She slipped beneath his arm and slashed deep across his forearm. He roared, dropping his weapon. Colt fired again. Muzzle flash lit the barn in violent white. Shadows moved like wolves. Colt like a grounded storm. Naya like a spark refusing to die. Then Casso stepped inside. Massive, silent, smiling. His eyes locked on her. There you are, he whispered. The storm howled. The barn trembled. And Naya's past finally found her. Casso filled the doorway like a nightmare made of flesh. Broad shoulders blocking what little light remained. Rain streaked down his face, mixing with the dirt and blood already smeared across his skin. His eyes cold, merciless, hungry, fixed solely on nausea. Ignoring the chaos around him, Colt raised his rifle, but Casso lifted a hand as if swatting aside a fly. You don't want this, cowboy, he growled. Step aside. She belongs to us. She belongs to no one, Colt replied, voice low, steady, dangerous. Casso smiled, slow and cruel. Says the man who knows nothing of her sins. Naya's breath hitched. My sin was telling the truth. Casso's smile died instantly, replaced by hate sharp enough to cut bone. Your truth killed my brother. Colt's gaze darted to Naya. Is that true? She swallowed hard, forcing herself to hold Casso's stare. I exposed him. The tribe judged him. His death was his own doing. Casso took a step forward, boots sloshing in the rain pooling at the door. You shamed him. You ripped our family apart. You destroyed everything we were. His voice rose, cracking under a wave of fury. You murdered him with your lies. Colt fired a warning shot at Casso's feet. Another step, and I won't aim for the ground. Casso didn't flinch. He stared at Colt with something almost like amusement. You think you can save her? You think she's worth dying for? I don't need to think, Colt said. I know. A violent roar tore from Casso's throat as he lunged, straight for Colt. The impact sent both men crashing into a stack of crates, splintering wood across the barn floor. Colt fought to keep hold of his rifle, but Casso's strength was monstrous, fueled by grief and rage, sharpened into obsession. Naya darted forward instinctively. Knife raised, but a second man grabbed her from behind, pulling her back. She kicked, twisted, drove her elbow into his ribs. The grip loosened just enough for her to slash across his cheek, sending him stumbling away with a howl. Casso slammed Colt against the ground, fingers closing around his throat. Colt gritted his teeth, bracing his boots in the mud for leverage. Naya leaped onto Casso's back, driving her knife downward. He roared and flung her off with terrifying ease, sending her crashing into the barn wall. Pain erupted down her side. She forced herself to stand anyway, dizzy but determined. Casso stalked toward her. Colt scrambled to his feet, grabbing a broken board as a makeshift weapon. "You take another step toward her," he rasped, "and I'll end you where you stand." Casso turned, eyes bloodshot and wild. "You think you can protect her? She brought death to my family. She'll bring it to yours." "I don't have a family," Colt said. His voice cracked not from fear, but something deeper, roar. "And maybe," he added, "that's why I won't let her lose hers." Naya froze. The word struck something deep inside her chests, something fragile, unguarded, aching. The fight blurred with thunder. Colt swung the broken board hard, smashing it across Casso's jaw. The big man staggered, but didn't fall. Rage fueled him. Pain only sharpened it. Naya darted in and slashed his arm. Casso backhanded her with brutal force, sending her to her knees as sparks burst in her vision. But the blow gave Colt an opening. He slammed his shoulder into Casso's ribs, driving him into a support beam. The whole barn trembled. Lightning flashed across Casso's twisted face. "You can't protect her," he snarled. "She destroys everything she touches." Colt wiped blood from his brow. "Funny, I was thinking the same about you." Casso lunged, a knife flashing from his belt. Colt dodged, barely. Fabric split across his side. Naya's breath seized. She forced herself upright, staggering toward them. Casso swung. Colt caught his wrist, twisting until the knife skidded across the floor. Naya dove for it, fingers closing around the hilt just as Casso slammed Colt into the wall, choking him with one massive hand. Colt's boots scraped wildly as he fought for air. Naya's blood froze. "Stop!" she screamed. Casso pressed harder, teeth bared. Something snapped inside her. Grief, the exile, the truth she carried alone. All of it surged as she charged. "Naya," Colt rasped. "Don't." Too late. She drove the knife into Casso's side with every ounce left in her. He froze. A ragged sound tore from him. Blood spilled warm over her hand. He stumbled back, releasing Colt, clutching the wound in disbelief. "You," he rasped. "You'd kill your own tribe." Naya steadied herself. "I didn't kill your brother, but I will kill you if I must." Casso's knees buckled. Colt caught him, lowering him rather than letting him fall. "Even dying," Casso sneered. "Truth ruined us." "No," she whispered. "Lies did." His eyes dimmed. His chest stilled. The storm began to fade. For a long moment, Naya stood trembling, staring at the man who had chased her across canyons and plains. Colt touched her shoulder gently. "You had no choice," he said. "There's always a choice," she whispered. "I finally chose myself." Colt's expression shifted pain, admiration, something warmer beneath it. "You saved my life. You saved mine first." Rain softened to a whisper. The battered barn felt strangely quiet, strangely safe. Naya met his gaze. "Colt, what now?" He managed a tired smile. "Earlier tonight, I told you not to die in my barn. Turns out neither of us listened." A fragile laugh escaped her. Colt offered his hand. "Come with me, Naya, not because you're hunted, not because you're alone, because you deserve a place to begin again." She looked at his hand, then took it. "Take me home," she whispered. He squeezed gently. "Then pack your things, Naya. You're coming with me." Outside, dawn broke through the clouds, a quiet promise of a new beginning.